right. Good evening, good afternoon. I am the one, the only Matic B. Mobley, and welcome to an episode of The Journey. You see it right there. You see it. The Journey. And I have the pleasure to be sitting here. Well, if he focus and turn his mic up towards him,
Boom.
I got the pleasure to sit here with my younger cousin, a future champion, the JYD Peterson out here.
Oh man, thank you, cousin.
How you been, cuz?
I'm good. About to throw my phone down real quick.
It's all right, man. It's all right. Now we going. I want to get into your whole thing. Before you took this boxing journey, as I recall, you were Nui the poet.
Yeah, yes.
So, like, what got you into that initially?
Well, I always liked words, to be honest. Good fascination with not just the English language, but language in general.
Right.
Wordplay, entendres, automatopoeias, similes, metaphors, etc., etc. So writing was always a passion of mine. So before I started boxing, I absolutely was writing poetry. I actually still do write poetry, just not as avidly as I once did. But I still do have an active Instagram and active Facebook page for my poetry. Nui the Poet, and I believe Nui underscore the Poet. Nui underscore the Poet 1 on Instagram, and Nui the Poet on Facebook. So you could definitely see some of my work there. But even with how I'm about to do my weekly vlogs,
right?
Kind of how they got 24/7 lined up on like Showtime and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm gonna be narrating some of the beginning of my things, but I'm gonna do it the same way that they do it.
Right.
So just giving it a different feel, working on different things, and I'm also even when in the credits of it, I'm gonna actually have it say Nui the Poet on the narrations because I'm not just a boxer.
Right.
It's two different entities, two completely different people. So it's a whole long story on why I even stopped writing poetry too. But
right. So and you also did the clothing line as I remember.
Which I also do with the poetry one. And two, with boxing, I'm actually about to have some shirts released too for JYD World shirts and merch like that.
Right.
More focused on that than I am with poetry. But when poetry comes a knocking and the money's right, I'm always going.
Damn right.
Yeah, I'm always go where the money at. So it's like that.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's funny that I'm here because even for a minute you dabbled in rap.
Yeah.
I still got the tracks.
I still got them.
You know what I'm saying? I still got rap. So it's like I guess that go hand in hand with the poetry portion. It's like, you know what I mean? That's what hip hop is, poetry.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Now then all of a sudden you like exploded into boxing. Like you didn't just like take a step into it. You like dived head first. Like what that from poetry to throwing punches, that's a whole different thing. Like how do we get there?
All right, so it all comes from poetry, to be honest. So essentially with me doing poetry, I actually ended up doing well in the Pigeon and the Fuse. I think the Fuse ended up stopping, which was like poetry slams, the Pigeon, and the Fuse, they poetry slams. So I ended up ranking really well with that. Me and a couple of my other folks that I did poetry with, like Enoch the Poet, he's a monster. His pen is stupid. Cynthia was on that team too. She's nice. She's nice as hell. Maddox, but it was a lot of us who was on that team who was dope. And we ended up going to the nationals. Actually, we ended up, I ended up making the national team for Philly to represent Philly.
Right.
Me and all of us, we ended up making it. But I had my daughter at that time. I just had my daughter. The nationals was gonna be out in Chicago that year.
Right.
And with me having my daughter, I was still gonna go to the nationals. That wasn't the problem. The problem happened when my daughter out of nowhere had got a heart condition, mitral valve regurgitation.
Right.
So basically the valve that releases the blood from the heart, the oxygenated blood from the heart to circulate to the body, that valve was too short. So the blood it comes out, but then some of it goes back in. So it was making her heart a little enlarged and stuff like that. So she ended up having to get an emergency surgery.
Wow.
Heart surgery. when she was about 4 months old. So of course I didn't go to the nationals because of that, because I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna miss that. I'm not gonna not be at that surgery. So seeing that was a lot, because I essentially like watched my daughter die after it happened, because we ended up going to get the surgery. And after the surgery was done, which was a lot, we ended up, because it didn't go as clean cut as that, because the surgery ended up getting pushed back.
Right.
Miscommunication from, people setting up the surgery, and which Dr. Rome killed it. He's a monster. But so many things happened before the surgery. So we ended up staying in the hospital. For a couple months, to be honest with you, like month or two, just basically living there. And my daughter I remember seeing my daughter after the surgery, and she just was dead, like literally just looked dead. Right. That was the roughest thing I ever seen in my life. And I remember I called my dad when they ended up moving her surgery before they had it.
Right.
And he just like, yo, just calm down. I'm just tripping, like, man, she can't breathe. And he just telling me to calm down, etc. I'm just like, whatever. So after she had the surgery, we see her, and we just don't really know what to do from there.
Right.
But from there, she healed. She got better, mashallah. She got better. She healed. She pushed through. But I remember it was a point where it was like a little short time where insurance was kind of acting funny with her medication.
Right. Been there.
So I remember getting like this much medication, and it was like $400-500, and she had to take the medication twice a day. And I'm like, this ain't gonna do nothing, baby. Like 3 days worth of medicine. It was like $400. Crazy. And at that moment I was like, nah, something gotta give. Like something gotta give. This ain't it. Like something gotta give. And poetry was rolling for me, and it really was. It really, really was. But I was like, I just need something more. And which led me into boxing. I was always good at fighting.
You come from that.
Yeah,
I get that.
So I was always good at fighting. So I figure I'm good at punching people in the face. Why not get paid for it? Like, honestly, that's the honest to God answer. So I'm good at punching people in the face. Why not get paid for it? Right. True. So my pop always kept telling me prior to this, like, yo, like, you might as well get in the gym, I'm like, man, I'm not, because I got a thing where if my heart is not in it, I'm not going to do it. If my heart is not in it with so many things, do this, I'm not doing it. My heart not in it.
Right.
And, a lot of people will tell you that's not how life works. But I'm going to get into why people say that's not how life works, because it's real.
Yeah.
But that's just the route that I decided to take. So I was married. I still am married to my wife, Brianna, who does Charm by Z. Check that out if you hear this, because she's a monster with the waist beads and all that other stuff. Yeah, word. Charm by Z. She's a monster with the waist beads and all that. And then shortly after, I ended up marrying my wife, Deja.
Right.
I'm polygynous.
Okay.
So I ended up marrying my wife, Deja, as well. And she had, which I call my son. His dad is in his life. He got a good dad and all that, So, his dad is active in his life. We bumped head a few times.
That happens. That has to happen.
Yeah, it happens. But nah, he a good dude. He cares about his son a lot. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna sit here and play. He cares about his son a lot.
Right.
But that's my son. Tristan is my son. And he's autistic. And just with me having my son who's autistic and my daughter who had the heart issues, I remember being so scared because my son couldn't talk until he was like 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? No matter what we did. So I ended up learning sign language for a while just to try to communicate with him and try to learn, do that with him. So I remember being terrified of him going to school because I'm like, he can't talk. Right. So if somebody do something to him, how is he going to be able to communicate that to me? Because what he would do after a while was repeat. He would repeat all the time.
Right.
And he still, he doesn't do it as much now. Like now his conversation is way better, but I was always afraid of it. I'm like, yo, like I need money. I need money in order to send them to better places, in order to send them to schools, in order to, get them right. Right. So when I jumped in the box and I knew, my pop made a few calls for me, and he called my brother Naeem the Dream Nelson. Shout out to Nah, man, because even when he had a chance to really put his career on full throttle, he actually, even after got his surgeries and stuff, he put his career on hold for a little minute just to make sure I was solid, man. Like, love, not a death. 2 people who were completely dynamic in my career. It's my dad and Naeem.
Right.
My dad, my pop, because he ain't never not had my back with this. Like 100%. Like most fighters sell their tickets and they got to run around and do all the tickets, and that's what come with it. That's not what came with it with me. I don't sell tickets. So he's like, people hit me up on the gram. Oh yeah, like, can I get a ticket? I'm gonna send you my dad number.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the gym. I don't got time to sell tickets, but so many other people don't have that luxury of doing, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that there's no flex or to down nobody else, but that's not it. But it's just my pop, he actually runs around meeting everybody here, there, everywhere. And he buzzes behind to going ahead and make that happen. So, everything I need.
It wouldn't be a flex even if you said it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're lucky enough to have the guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a flex. It's a fact, not a flex.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, and that's a fact. My pop, he's he thorough dude, sturdy. Me and him, we don't always agree, but I'm gonna be honest with you. My pop is like my best friend in the world. And let's not get it confused, because growing up, my pop wasn't my friend. He was a father to me, right? Like my mother wasn't my friend. She was a mother. But when you get older, you do develop different relationship with your parents. Yeah. But my mother is always my mother and my father is always my father, regardless. So, but man, he'd tell you, like, I'm his best friend too. If I go 2-3 days without call my pop, he gonna call my phone with the sobs. So, I know you don't, just miss you, son. Just, seeing you're okay. I always clown him about it. Yeah, I'm his best friend, you know what I mean? And it's vice versa. That's my dog. Right. So he goes that extra mile for me always, even when I was in the hole, which I'm gonna get into too, because I'm gonna be raw on this. Like, comes with a lot.
It's your show, bro.
Yeah. And Naeem, like I said, Naeem has been there with me since day one. Like, it don't matter who was nowhere, nothing. I would tell people all the time, like, I'm not nobody fighter, but if I'm anybody's fighter, I'm Naeem Nelson. I'm Naeem Nelson's fighter. Like, that's my brother. That's like, that ain't never gonna change. Inside and outside the ring, that's my brother. Right. And he did a lot of things. But we're gonna talk about the next two people who's extremely pivotal in my career, which was Brianna and Deja, both my wives, because people talk about strong women. You know what I mean? But nah, they monsters.
I could have swore I see you training with one of my beliefs.
Both of them.
Both of them?
Both of them do pad work.
Fuck out of here.
Both of them do pad work. Both of them do pad work.
Oh man, must be nice.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, and talented. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, man, sure. They like that. Took a lot of time, a lot of frustration, a lot of behind the scenes that y'all don't see. But them pads ain't come easy. Anybody who hit pads, especially grown men, they'll tell you pads hurt. Doing pads, holding them pads for dudes, they hurt. Hurt your wrists, your shoulders, your elbows, everything. I'm a grown man, put my hands on them pads when they behind them pads and they hold it down.
I know I boxed for 1 year, and then after that, after a while, I said, you know what, this shit ain't for me. Yeah. But I'm like, I feel like that's something every man, every boy or man should do for at least a year. You know what I'm saying? So you need to know how to throw a punch. And you need to know how to take one.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos and stuff going around of grown men fighting. Word, man, this like, it don't make it right. But I see why a lot of dudes is shooting, because dudes don't know how to defend themselves. Like, exactly. I'm talking about, like, at all. It's crazy. It's wild. I be seeing grown men hold their fists like this, and
bro, it's terrible. You know what I see a lot? I'm like, that chin be out. I see
out all the time.
God damn, why your chin is just sitting there? Oh my God.
And you get in front of a dude, everybody can talk about it, right? But when you get in front of somebody, I tell people all the time, it's different. You can sit here and watch these fighters fight on TV all you want, but the dude that you might be calling corny or this, or he got a couple losses, he will make, if you got in the ring with him for 10 seconds,
he embarrassed you.
Swear to God, he'll make it the worst 10 seconds of your life. Because I've been punched in the mouth by multiple world class fighters. It ain't what you think. It's different when a dude. I've been punched in the face by a dude so hard I felt electric in my feet. Punching in my mouth, and wallahi, it felt like my feet. I felt like I stuck my feet inside of an open circuit.
Hence, that's why I only did it for a year.
Yeah.
Boy, one day I was a dummy that left my chin out there.
Boy, it'll ruin you.
Ooh, God.
It'll ruin you, man.
You know what I'm saying? You remember some of what happened.
Yeah.
Your brain literally shakes.
Yeah.
Like literally, like your brain is like, it's like somebody took your head and shook it.
Yeah, and it'll block it. It's funny because your brain will block it out. The pain. People think getting knocked out. I remember my coach told me, getting knocked out. Breadman told me that. He said, getting knocked out don't hurt. It happens. But the brain has a funny way of shutting down when it goes through that much
Right.
like shock or pain or concussion. Like you get hit with that shot, boom, and then you look up, man. I see dudes look up, and they'll tell you like they look around the ring, all they see is lights and stuff, and they like, where am I?
Yeah.
And then go to sleep, and the next day they wake up and be like, oh shit, I gotta fight today, bro. You fought yesterday.
Yeah, and the legs, right? Your brain might say stand up.
Oh,
legs
them
be like-
legs crumble.
The legs be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean,
And you can, it be funny, you see yourself, you get hit with a shot, boom, and you be like, I'm good. And then you look and see your legs be like, no, I'm not good.
Yeah.
Crazy jump.
and they be the main guys that look at the ref like, why you stop the fight? Bro, you didn't see that, but I did.
Yeah,
Your
but
legs
I
is
did.
cut off. You
Yeah.
got cartoon legs. Right
Noodles for legs, man. Oh, and before we go any further, I said, Charm by Z, Details by Deja on Instagram and every other social media. Details by Deja. Yeah, just so I be plugged in and it don't be forgotten.
Now I want you to text that to me later too, so we can put that on the screen right now. I want to be spelled correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we'll talk about them later on what they went through. Because I'm gonna be real. A lot of people, in the black community, we don't support because a lot of the time it's crazy. The older people, they want you to be secure and stable, right? But sometimes security and stability come with risk.
Yeah.
But the unknown is scary to everybody, right? But if we actually just decided like, all right, like they doing something, they passionate about it, and they're serious. They're not just messing around, but they serious, and we see that they put in the work, stand behind them, because that is what makes the uncertain certain.
Right.
When you stand behind it. You know what I mean? They just like, oh, well, you trying to do this, why don't you go get a job? A job ain't for everybody. But again, I'm gonna go into that when we touch into that because it's real.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You ain't said nothing wrong. It's like what we doing now. A lot of people ask me like, well, why everybody's doing this, that, and other. Why you decide to do this? I said, man, I said, look, I've seen 2 Chinese stores on the same block, and they both get money. So why the fuck? So just because he doing this don't mean that I can't do it either.
Yeah.
Somebody might like my voice a little better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what the whole thing. I'm like, I hate the idea of people saying like what you shouldn't do. Don't push your fear on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna come out here. You see, I'm out here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come out here no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. You never know when it's gonna be your day.
Yeah,
they could be it.
You right, like you said, Chinese store, 2 of them on the corner. Man, you crazy, bro. It's 10, 20 different brands of cheese in the same cheese aisle.
Yeah,
10 different brands of bread in the bread aisle. You got Bimbo, Stroman, King, Rye,
and they all sell.
And they all sell the same way.
It's a Poppy store right across from us, and it's a Poppy store in the very
on the next corner. On the very
and
next
they
corner.
all getting the same thing.
All game, and then it's not only that, it's one here, one there, and then one right around the corner on 58th Street, right there. And they all got 2 of them got the little I think all 3 of them might got the little casino machines. They all got the same food that they serving. They all serving the same food, but we just figure this is my Chinese store, right? This is my bodega because it's on my corner, and this is my bodega is on my corner, and this is my bodega because it's on my corner. It's a convenience store. It's convenient.
Nobody's
nobody black in them stores. Nobody is no black people running them stores. And I ain't got no problem with the bodegas. I love the bodegas. They the Poppy. Out in Philly we call them Poppy stores. I know in New York they say bodega, and that's okay because that's the culture in New York. But that it really is what they call. They call it a bodega because most of the time, what people don't understand is coming from the outside looking in. A bodega is not just a store because a lot of the time, even up top, it's a house up there. Like that's really a central for Spanish people. I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, but like it's not just a store. It's not just a corner store to them. Like that's like. It's real, culturally speaking, it's real, and that's definitely to be respected. But at the same time, ain't no black in the black neighborhoods. It ain't no black corner stores. Ain't no black corner stores. It's Chinese stores and Spanish stores.
Yeah, we need to get back to that, but that's another topic.
Yeah.
What I want to talk to you about is, all right, you got a fight coming up. What's it, next Friday?
No, it's the 23rd. So that's not my man fight next week. My man Leak fight next week. I fight right after him.
Okay.
I fight the week right after that. So Leak about to fight on the 17th or something like that. I'm about to fight on the 23rd.
Yeah, you got to fight on the 23rd. Let's get into the first fight. Now I saw you win with a body shot. If I'm wrong, am I wrong?
No, it was a body shot that led to a hook up top, and then the referee, because the referee prior to that, he was just telling the dude like, yo, like, show me something. So then when he said that, my coach was just like, let your hands go. Yeah. So I just let him go some body shots, do a body shot, boom, boom, and up top the hook grazed him, but the referee saw that he ain't really had nothing left with him. So yeah, top hook, but body shot is what led it to it.
I should have said you stopped him with the body shot.
Yeah, he got stopped with the body shot for real.
Yeah.
For real.
So how did that feel, man? How did that first win feel?
The first one was in the moment, you know, the adrenaline would be like love. It's like, yeah, word is like that. But then, you know, people think I was saying it for the cameras. I can call Tay, and I'm actually gonna go see Tay tomorrow anyway. That's my dog, Tay, SBA Tay, who do the pads.
Right.
That night, I was in the crowd, just kicking it with the crowd, and you know, taking pictures on all that other cool stuff. Tay, who put in a crazy hand in my career too. Tay put in a crazy hand with my career. One of the best pad men in the city, soon to be in the game. Watch, but Tay put a crazy hand in on my career, and he came up to me. He said, talk to me. And I said, bro, that was a terrible fight. I give myself a C minus, and Tay laughed. He said, okay, I'm happy me and you on the same page. Mm-hmm. You know why Tay said that to me? Like, that was off. That's off camera. That's off. This is a secret personal conversation. Well, Law, that me and him right there in the crowd. He told me, like, he said, bro, that's not what you do. You better than what you performed out there. Like, that ain't it. Because he know better than that. I know better than that. He was the first person I told I gave a C minus to my performance because it was real. That fight looked terrible to me. I looked awful.
Do you think because this happened with sports in general? Do you think you played down to the competition?
It wasn't that. I'm gonna be realistic with you, right? So before I even came out to the ring, I ain't feel no nerves. I ain't feel nothing. I wasn't worried about that. And like nothing that happened. You know, unfortunately, my little brother took a loss that night on his debut. My little brother took a loss in the decision. You know, all right, so you got movies like Gladiator and stuff like that, right? Where they be like kind of under the arena getting ready to fight, you know, and the next man getting called back. But then you look over, is a dude with a sword sticking out of him getting brought back on the stretcher dead. And you realize all the dudes that be monsters, they don't even be paying attention to that. I can't worry about. That's not because it's because they know you got to be locked in. So, you know, even when my little brother came back, so many lessons was learned that night. Even when my little brother came back, you know, I saw him digging his bag and get himself together. I didn't say a word to my little brother because I can't. Because the moment I say something to you and emotionally get invested into you, then I'm not focused and I'm off my square. You can't feel nothing in boxing. You can't. You can't feel happy. You can't feel sad. You can't feel too excited. You can't feel nothing. You just have to be cold. That's it, because it's nothing personal. I'm just doing my job. So after my little brother, you know, lost, my man Leak. That's like my brother too. Leak, he went out there. He got to win. Cool. I'm up next. I don't care about his win. I don't care about, you know, I talked to my little brother a couple days after the fight. We rap. But in the moment, I didn't care about his loss. In the moment, I didn't care about Leak win. Yeah, I cared about it. Because if I care about that, then I lose focus. So as I'm walking to the ring and everything, I'm locked in. I'm not worried about nothing. I didn't feel nothing. But then when the bell rung, everything smacked me like a Mack truck. Boom. And I'm just like, oh, shit, this is real. And once it hit, I kind of let my nerves get the better of me until like the end of the first round. Like halfway through the first round, that's when I pulled it together. So I don't think I boxed down to the competition. I think for the first half of the first round, I allowed my nerves to get the better of me, unfortunately.
Right. So let me ask you. So September 23rd, 2022. Yeah. So you know that first fight was a stepping stone. So you say this time around you'd be way more prepared for what's to come. Yeah. Because you know it don't get easier.
No, it don't.
It don't get easier. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I like when I watch you when you started boxing to up to now, it's a complete different. Like you used to, like when you first started, it was like a lot of aggression. It was like a lot.
Yeah.
Now it's more. Now it's becoming more technical.
Yeah.
The aggression's still there. The power's still there.
Yeah.
But it became more technical. Like now the evolution into that. Wow. Like how did that work for you?
All right. So first, just touching on a fight that's September 23rd. It's always adjustments that need to be made. And I don't care about what nobody experienced before me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy or this, everybody who I get in there with, in my eyes, is a world champion. Because if I think any less of you, that I'm not going to train like it. If I train like you less than the world champion, then I already lost. I don't take nobody for granted. Anybody, people don't understand. People think it's a joke. You get hit the right type of way, you will lose, you will die. You get hit the right type way, you will die.
Right.
It's not a joke. It's not a game. So I'm not training for you like you just, oh no, I'm training for you like I'm coming to take everything that you earned. In my head, whether I'm on the A side, the B side, I don't care. None of, I'm always the B side. And I always have everything to lose, always. And I'm coming to take whatever you got. It don't matter what you got. I'm coming to take it. So that's how I train. So it's funny. Boxing has a very funny way of humbling you. It'll humble you quick because we call the boxing ring the great revealer of truth.
Right.
It's either you a man or a mouse. You ain't half gangster. I'm gonna call it what it is. It's either, you know, and this is not me saying it like in a derogatory way, like that's for women. And like, no, I'm calling it what it is. It's either you a bitch or you not.
Right.
And that's the truth. Because the same way if you go to jail, right, and you a pedophile, that's stuck to your jacket, your whole bed. You can't be in GP. You can't be in general population because you're not gonna survive. That's always stuck on your jacket. The moment somebody figure out in a gym, it don't come out in the ring all the time. Dudes know if you a car while you in the gym sparring. Oh, he make habits of quitting. Oh, the spar get hard. Oh, my hand hurt. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I messed my leg up. Man, dudes make, once I see, not even just me, killers, man, boxing, every world is small. It's not just boxing.
Right.
Every world that you get into is a small world. So once somebody realize, oh, he got hoe in him, he a hoe. You just gotta hit him hard enough. He gonna bend over. You gotta hit him hard enough. Once you get that stuck to your jacket, there's no untaking it from your jacket. You can't just switch that up. A lot of dudes don't understand boxing will humble you. It's the great revealer of truth. So I've been in there with a lot of guys, a lot of, you know, world-class type of dudes. And I'm gonna be honest with you, everybody can run their mouth and talk that talk, but then when you get a world-class dude, it'd be funny. In the top of camps, you can get the best fighter in the world. In the top, when the camp first started, we got 8 to 12 week camps. Just the first week of camp. He's a millionaire. He might have just been on vacation for a month or two out somewhere that you can't even pronounce. His head wasn't in boxing at that moment, but now he knows it's time to lock in. So when he first come back, you've been training this whole time. You all good. You gonna get over on a spar or two on a dude. He gotta find his eyes again. People don't even understand that concept. You have to find your eyes again. When you get back in the ring, you gotta find your eyes.
Right.
It don't just work that way. You gotta find your eyes. You gotta get physically back in shape. The next thing you know, we was at 12 weeks. Now we at the 8-week mark. And now this world champion dude really locked in. And you're starting to see, I'm not really getting over on spars no more. And then now we at the 6-week and the 4-week point. And now they like, all right, young boy, we're going to send you home. Not because you ain't good enough, but because, you know, no disrespect, you ain't good enough. Because the last 2 spars, he done broke your ass. And you was just calling home to your folks. Yeah, bro, man, I'm getting, they talking about he the best in the world, bro. I'm getting over on him. I'm getting, whole time you don't even dig. He ain't even get started yet. He ain't even, and then once he start hitting on all cylinders and he start hitting you a certain way and putting his hands on you, and the stuff that was working before ain't working no more, and he making 16, 17 adjustments in 4 rounds, and you can't even touch him, and he punishing you. You ever been punched in the face by somebody that's wearing 16-ounce gloves and you felt every knuckle in their hand? Every single one. It ain't fun. And then the dude look up like, oh man, nah, you ain't as good as you thought you was. This man was just getting back. It humbles you quick. So when I learned that and I realized, boy, me fighting like this ain't going to get it. I got to start getting the IQ of it. That's when you start making those adjustments. And unfortunately, a lot of people can't do that. But I've been in there with guys where you better have that IQ and you better make those adjustments or you're going to end up sleep or punch drunk before you even get a career.
I can agree with that, man. So September 23rd, we should expect to see you back in there.
Yeah.
And I should expect great things.
Yeah, bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, more composed, everything.
That's the key. That's the key. That's the key. That's the key.